Hi, my name is Monte Tilgner with the Iowa High School Athletic Association. This will be our week 3 video review. All the plays except for this first one are going to be from week 3. This one is from week 2 and just a very unique play that we rarely see. We have a fair catch after a free kick. So what we really want to talk about is a little bit of the rules, but really the mechanics we want the officials to use on this play. So let's just take a look here. You can see we're going to have a punt with very little time left in the game. We're going to have a fair catch, and then the player gets roughed. And since he gets roughed, we end up moving the enforcing this penalty, and now we are at the 41-yard line. And now the teams are talking about that they want to do a free kick after a fair catch, which the crew luckily knew that rule. Not luckily, they're a very good crew and they knew the rule. So then it's the mechanics of how we want to line up for this. And Jared and I have talked about this, and what we want to do is to make sure that we have everything covered properly. We only want to move one official out of their normal free kick position. So mechanically, what we want is our back judge to be on K's line like they always are. We want our umpire to be on R's line like they always are. We want our H to be at the goal line pylon, our L to be at the goal line pylon. And the reason why we need that pylon, those pylons and that goal line covered, is because if this falls short of the goal line, we have a live ball, and obviously the return team would want to pick it up and run with it or down it or whatever they wanted to do. So we need that covered. We also need someone under the upright to rule if the kick is good, and that would be our referee. So that way we only have one official out of his normal position, referee under the goalpost. He can then, as you see here on this play, this is our back judge, but he has plenty of time to move side to side to get in position to make a ruling on this kick. So if we continue here, you can see they did a nice job because we have to have all the K players within 5 yards of the free kick line. We can have any no return team players can be can encroach. So we've got this 10-yard buffer like we do on every other one. And let's just see the kick here. It's long enough, but it doinks off the upright and is no good. So that's how the game ended. That's how mechanically we want to handle this if you run into this situation. So overall, pretty good job by the crew. I would like to thank the Spencer Municipal Utilities for sharing that clip. It was not on either one of the huddle clips that the teams had. I think they thought the game was over. They stopped recording. So thank you to the Spencer Municipal Utilities for sharing that clip so we could show it to you guys and talk about the mechanics. So there's been a lot of discussion on shifting and what's legal, what's not legal. So this would be one that we have a legal clap and then a shift. So what makes this legal and what would make it illegal? So if you watch here, we've got a clap by our quarterback, and we've got a relatively smooth shift here. It's not abrupt. This is nothing abrupt about that motion by the offensive players, none of those offensive players, and they all can shift in this case because there's 2 on the end of the line and the rest are backs. And then we do get encroachment. So what would make it a foul is if they very quickly and abruptly make that shift, and that would be what would be simulated the start of the play. So this is properly called encroachment on the defense, but this one could, and it is up to the judgment of the officials, but this is one that we feel definitely was done well by the offense, and to not make it an abrupt movement and would cost a false start against them. All right, next play here, we've got end of half, end of game situations, mechanics, clock, status. So a close ball game here, 1-score game, and we're getting to the end of the game. It is 3rd down and 1. So let's just run this play here. It's 3rd down and 1. And you can see right about now is when we would rule the ball dead with 1:27 on the clock. So what we'd want to do here is we want to give the dead clock, the dead ball signal, and that way our 40-second play clock would start, okay? Go find the ball. If it's a touchdown, signal touchdown. If not, put your hand up and then back out of there. The offense wants to run another play. We can't do that if we're not in position. So, we come in here, make a decision, and then get out as quick as you can and let the offense run another play. When we would want to stop the clock is if we do not have that ball set at 25 seconds, we would want to stop the clock, and then we want to reset it to the time that was left, and then we want to bump it up to 25, and we would start both clocks. So in this case, if we didn't have the ball down by 1:02, we would stop the clock. We would tell the clock operators, set the game clock to 1 minute, 2 seconds, and set the play clock to 25 seconds, and start both clocks on my wind. And that's how we want to handle this situation. So the offense and the defense, everyone gets a fair shot at what they should on the play. All right, next one, offensive holding to return, looking exactly where we should be looking. This is called by the referee and the umpire. So let's take a look here. I believe it's going to be right in here. Yes, it's going to be, my bad, I should have had this circled already. It's going to be the action right here with these two players. I will put a circle around them now. So keep an eye on the action right there, right where our referee and our umpire should be looking. Definite grab and restrict, which takes him away from that. Umpire flag, referee flag, and this is one where we would enforce it from the spot of the foul because it ends up a little bit behind. So foul occurred maybe at the 28-yard line, position 3. So we would go from the 28 back to the 18, position 3. And we know that we would have the clock on the snap because we had a illegal kick play. Okay, just a good understanding by the crew here of this is a legal play. There's nothing wrong with this. It looks a little funky, but nothing wrong with it. So you can see what we're going to have here is some interesting motion. We're going to have a backward pass here by our quarterback, and then we're going to have a forward pass. So we know we cannot have 2 forward passes, but this is a backward pass right here, and that's the initial direction of that ball on the release, remember? And then we have a little flip pass for the, I don't know if it's a 2-point conversion or if it was a touchdown play. It's right at the 3, so I'm not sure which one it would be, but it doesn't matter. Backward pass, and then still behind the line, and a legal forward pass. I don't believe we had any linemen who were too far downfield. We're right about there with one of them. Again, we want that to be a good, healthy 3 yards before we want to, nitpick an IDP. Okay, crew evaluation. This is a crew evaluation that I found for an intentional grounding play. So let's look at what this crew talks about in their review of the game that they share with each other. So first thing here is, if I can get it to back up. First thing is a comment by the crew of for the referee. Says, I'm standing on the right edge of the tackle box. Then he drew in what he feels what the tackle box would be on the other side, and he's got that as the hash mark there. And then if we continue, we've got next comment by our referee right here. He's out of the free blocking zone. So remember, once he's out, he's out. So now all he needs to do is get this ball. We really don't need to worry about this line again. He doesn't have to be outside. He could be right in the middle of it now. He already got out of it, but now he throws the ball. And the next comment is, this ball is touched by some dude on the track, And he says line of scrimmage is 28. I feel the ball would have landed beyond or beyond the 30. So he's got the ball crossing the line of scrimmage. He does a great job of going to the spot. Oops, sorry. Going to the spot of the pass and then checking with the crew to determine that the ball did cross the line of scrimmage, and then be good to make an announcement. There's no foul for intentional grounding. The passer got outside the free blocking zone, and the pass made it to the line of scrimmage, and then it would be 4th down in this case. So really good job, good review, and good illustration of how you can legally ground the ball. Okay, next one, this drew a bit of attention. Targeting, butt blocking, doesn't matter. Either way, this is a foul. We need to have it called. We just have to protect the safety of our players. If you watch here, what we're going to have is this player right here is going to, at the snap, he's going to go head first, crown of the helmet, and he's basically going to blow up the guard right here. And I'll just go at full speed. First of all, you can see, now I'll go back, put it in slow motion. At the snap, dips his head and goes right with the crown of the head to the guard, blows him up, and that's a foul. We need to have that called. We need coaches to make sure, this is for the safety of the player delivering the blow as well, that he doesn't get hurt. So teach your players, do not lead with the crown of the helmet. We're going to have a foul of some sort if that's the case. If we rule that targeting, it would not be one we'd want to eject the player for. But remember, we do not have to eject for targeting. So targeting, butt blocking, either way, it fits the definition of either or both for that. I'm just continuing here. When in doubt, it's a horse collar tackle. That's what the conversation is about this. This is not a WWE tackle like we talked about last week. He doesn't pick him up and throw him down. He simply kind of pulls or spins him down. But the question was, this is a horse collar tackle. So just remember, if they get inside the collar or on the nameplate and end up pulling this runner down, it doesn't have to be even immediate, but end up pulling this runner down, then we would want a foul for a horse collar tackle, and it is a safety foul. When in doubt, make it a foul. So you see he does spin him there. He gets inside the collar and spins and pulls him down from the side. So it's different than our WWE. This would be one we want called as a horse collar tackle, and a very good example. Good job of putting the flag down by the crew. This is just a really good one of an example of how hard you can hit a receiver and have it not be a foul if you wrap up. So remember the new rule from a couple years ago, the illegal personal contact against the defenseless player. If we have a receiver who's making a catch, and if we hit him forcibly and we don't wrap up, or we're not making a play on the ball, or initiate it with extended open hands, it is a foul. So in this case, we have a very big hit, but he wraps up and he takes the guy down to the ground. And that's what makes this not a foul. If he did that same thing and he blew him up right there, but didn't wrap him up, and they went down to the ground separately, okay, we would not want to foul on this play. But because he wraps up, he followed the guidelines of the rule, and we do not have a foul. Illegal blindside block. We're doing a pretty good job of this. We want to continue to do a good job. This is a really good pickup by the headline judge because he's got a lot of stuff going on. This is another crew self-evaluation review that they did. So these are not my comments, but swimmer should raise a red flag. I talk about red flags a lot. We talk about guys swimming upstream. So that's what we got here. We got this number 4 coming back against the grain, breaking his hand, and watch him light up number 28 here. Okay, so easy foul. Nice job of picking up by the H. He's got a lot going on because he's got that runner as well. But the H picked it up, and I believe we got a flag as well from our back judge maybe. But really good job. Good example of a blindside block. Easy call. One we got to get because of the safety of the players. Okay, another one, personal foul for unnecessary roughness. has a very broad range. If it looks bad, it will fall into the category, the rule, I should say, of 943G, which says it's illegal personal contact to, quote, make any contact with an opponent, including a defenseless player, which is deemed unnecessary or excessive, and which incites roughness. So you can see on this one, this is something that definitely is going to do that. So let's take a look here at this one. This player right here, the start blocks out fine, but what you cannot do is what is quoted in the movie The Blind Side. I was taken in the bus. It was time for him to go home. That's what Michael Orr says. Well, you can't do that. This is what this player does. He continues to drive him way out of the play. Then he dumps him. That's a flag every single time. Okay, fits right into that to a T, and no need for this. We just have no need for this in Iowa high school football games. Coaches, coach your kids to know that this will be called a foul, hopefully by the crew, and we just can't do it. All right, the next one we're going to look at is this is why this is a problem, and it shows how things will escalate if we do not get control of these type of situations. So same game, and we already know that we've got some stuff going on, so this is a continuation of that. So let's take a look at this and see how this escalates. All right, we are going to be looking right here. Again, this starts out fine. Still good, still good. And I think the defensive player actually decides I'm going to try to get rid of him and throws him down. We're still good. Now we're not good. So when we have a guy on the ground and before he gets up, you jump on him or block him again, that's a foul. So we need to have that as a flag. We have a flag, but we cannot turn our back on these guys. I mean, who knows what could happen. So it doesn't matter what else there is. That's what could rise to a really bad level on this play. So just stick with those guys. And we actually have a teammate of this this team who comes in and keeps number 8 from going after the guy that just buried him. So good job with the flag, but then stay with the players. Okay, finishing up here with some block below the waist fouls. So this is a legal block, not a foul. Legal because all the players are on the line of scrimmage in the free blocking zone at the snap. Contact is in the zone, and the block is in the immediate initial action following the snap. So let's take a look. We'll get a little look at who we're talking about here. So just watch. Okay, immediate initial action. This is in slow motion, but no foul. Same guy, legal. All right, and here we go. Same guy. Again, this is immediate enough. All right, that's his first movement. So not a foul. However, we can have a problem if we do the same block and then someone else comes in high, which is what happens here. So this becomes a chop block because a chop block is one player blocking low, another player blocking high. 2 more teammates against an opponent other than runner with or without delay, and where one block is below the waist and one is above. So in this case, again, we're talking about right here, and we can see this guy come in. He gets blocked low legally. The problem is his teammate, his offensive teammate, comes and makes contact high. So that's this player right here is initiating contact high while he's being blocked low, and therefore we have a foul for a chop block. So if you're blocking low, it's very important that nobody else comes in and blocks high, otherwise we will have a foul. So those are our plays this week. Stay in the book. A lot of good plays being sent in. Appreciate that. and we will talk to you again next week.